Hello and welcome to Yorkshire Voice on Monday, May the 14th. I'm Melissa Dinsey.
And I'm Zoha Shah. Here are the top stories.
Today marks the beginning of foster care fortnight and North Yorkshire County Council are appealing for people to become foster parents.
A terminally ill 15-year-old girl has been waiting for a kidney transplant for the past 5 years.
And new research has uncovered just how damaging wet wipes can be to the environment.
Today marks the beginning of a foster care fortnight and has an appeal launched by the Fostering North Yorkshire to encourage people to consider becoming new parents.
North Yorkshire County Council has 300 children per year in its care, and it's keen to stress the importance of maintaining a large number of potential foster families to make sure every child receives the best possible solution. Alex Smith reports.
A sunny day on Scarborough Beach, and a perfect day for a family outing. But not all children are lucky enough to enjoy this occasion with their family. Alison Borg has fostered 17 children over 6 years, and she knows just how rewarding fostering can be.
The first time that a child chooses to hold your hand when you're walking down the street, often you have to just hold their hand because it's safe to do so. But the time they just want to do it for extra reassurance. Being able to take children on their first adventures, whether that's just the first trip to see Father Christmas, the first time on an aeroplane, just the first time they do certain things, you get a lot back from that, I think. That's really quite exciting for us as well, isn't it? It's quite a pleasure for us to be able to do some of those firsts with children that have never done something like that before.
North Yorkshire County Council stress that it is important to have a large pool of willing foster parents, and that contrary to common belief, anybody can apply, not just married couples.
Well, we believe that the best place for a child to grow up in North Yorkshire is in a family setting, because we know that if they're in a family setting, they thrive and they achieve the best possible childhood. So, unfortunately, various families break down through no fault of the child, and so we have to find alternative families. And the theme for our foster care fortnight is Fostering Transforms Lives, and actually when you see children growing up in a stable family setting, then it really does transform lives.
I'm Alex Smith, reporting for Yorkshire Voice.
It was the last game of the season for Huddersfield Town Football Club yesterday when they played Arsenal at home. The only Yorkshire club in the Premier League managed to avoid relegations against all odds.
Our reporter Katie Hazeldine went down to John Smith Stadium to speak to some fans about the club's lucky streak and the prospect of another season in the top flight.
Huddersfield Town fans left the John Smith Stadium in high spirits yesterday, despite their 1-0 defeat against Arsenal. The Terriers secured a place in the Premier League for their second season against Chelsea in the midweek match at Stamford Bridge. These fans are already looking forward to the next season.
We're delighted. Happy days.
Renewed my ticket already, so yeah, looking great. Yeah, we got away with it.
How I feel about being in the Premier League is I feel pretty good about it, to be totally honest.
It's just a buzz to stay up, you know what I mean? It's a buzz, Can't believe it.
I'm pleased that we've retained our Premiership and looking forward to next season. Tremendous. I'm so proud of this club, so proud of the manager and the chairman, and proud of the supporters.
The club will return to play Premier League football again in August, and the sense of pride is strong throughout the town. Katie Hazeldine reporting for the Yorkshire Voice.
15-year-old Abbie Longfellow has been on the waiting list for the kidney for the past 5 years after she was diagnosed with a rare kidney disease. Our reporter is here with us right now.
Thank you. Yes, thanks very much. Yeah.
So tell us about this little girl.
Yes. Well, Abbie is she's only 15. She's had this quite rare, aggressive kidney disease since she was 10 years old.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and she's from Rothwell in West Yorkshire. Very brave young lady. And basically for especially the last 6 months, she's undergone a lot of operations at hospital. So it's been a particularly emotional time for these past 6 months. And she's been on the waiting list for a new kidney for over a year now. And so now she's launched a fresh appeal asking for anybody who would like to see if they can actually donate one of their kidneys to her.
And how can people actually go and do that?
Yes, well, actually, people can register at St James's Hospital in Leeds. they can ring up and go for a test there. Abbie's blood type is A+, which means that if you are a A blood type or an O blood type, potentially you could be a match for her. But it obviously does also depend on tissue type as well.
Since this campaign has been going on, has she received much support?
Do you know what she has? There's lots of people being quite felt quite moved by her campaign. She's such a brave lady. She's been doing all sorts of campaigning as well, not just for her but for nationwide, for people who want organ donations. She's even gone up against the NHS England and won, because there was a drug that she needed, but it wasn't available to her because of the postcode lottery, which does affect a lot of different people. So
that is something really amazing.
it is, isn't
That's
it?
very brave, especially at 15 years old. Do you know if this has affected her school life or anything at all?
Well, actually, I've been speaking to her dad, Andy, this morning, and he said that Abbie has made the decision between her and her school friends not to sort of go public so much, with not to be in the limelight so much, just to watch her, physical and mental well-being as much as she can. Completely understandable. She has been speaking to the Sunday People, which is, they've been with her since day one in her campaign, and she's told them that, and she said that it seems like a lot to ask a stranger, but she just wants to live.
Thank you so much, Rosie.
It seems not enough of us are partying with our money on the traditional high street and are choosing to spend it on leisure activities and restaurants and pubs.
Figures released today have painted a bleak picture for the retail industry, with spending level as low as they were in 2009 at the start of recession. Our reporter Ian Milano spoke to the shoppers owners in Huddersfield to learn more.
2017. Now this could be down to the bad weather, but what could perhaps be more worrying is that people are actually really feeling the pinch on their wallet and purses. So we're here to speak to a couple of shop owners to see what they make of this madness.
The traditional British High Street, once a regular destination on people's weekly schedules, but with people's lives becoming ever increasingly busy, many are now choosing to shop online from the comfort of their homes.
Too many shops? I mean, if you go into, say, Leeds, for instance, where they say that sales are down there as well as just local high street, I think there's too many stores. And I think we're lucky in Leeds that there is a quite diverse shop. But some high streets you go in, you just see exactly the same shops everywhere. You could be anywhere in the country.
But I do know the rents have been put up again more recently, and that obviously does affect. Say we've got another charity shop, not ours, but another charity shop down the road that closed specifically because the lease was up and the rents have gone up too much,
This is Ian Molyneux reporting for Yorkshire Voice.
Stay with us as we find out why our sewers are becoming increasingly blocked and how Yorkshire residents are saving their homes.
Also, we have a report from Sunday's Marathon and the Bradford Primary School's battle to save their brass band.
Here is Simon with a full roundup of today's sport.
Harrogate Town will be playing National League football next season for the first time in the club's history after they beat Brackley Town 3-0 in the playoff final. Huddersfield Town have retained their Premier League status for another year despite losing 1-0 at home yesterday to Arsenal. Rotherham drew 2-2 in the first leg of their playoff semi-final against Scunthorpe United. The Millers were on course for a win until a late goal from Cameron McGeehan cost the Travellers the advantage going into the second leg. Middlesbrough's promotion hopes took a hit this weekend as they lost the first leg of their playoff tie at home to Aston Villa. Tony Pulis' side were beaten 1-0 and will face Villa again in the second leg away from home tomorrow. The result of the test match between Surrey and Yorkshire at the Kia Oval is in. Surrey won by an innings and 17 runs. The home side only needed 9.1 overs in the final morning to finish the job after Yorkshire resumed on 142 for 5. The sixth round of the Ladbrokes Challenge Cup took place over the weekend and had mixed success for Yorkshire teams. Huddersfield beat Wakefield, knocking them out of the competition, along with Castleford Tigers, who suffered at home defeat to St Helens. On the other hand, Leeds Rhinos managed to win 23-20 at Widnes to progress to the next round. That's all for the sports news. Back to Zohar and Mel.
Residents of Alton in Leeds are worried that they may not be able to afford the new houses that they are promised in replace for their current ones.
The houses were initially built to accommodate Rothwell colliery miners and their families, but were only meant for temporary accommodation, Maisie Clancy reports.
Wordsworth Drive, a community once home to miners and their families, are facing the devastation of losing their homes. Property dealer Pemberstone Group is seeking to demolish the tight-knit community in order to rebuild a new modern housing estate. The residents here in Alton have fought back, creating a campaign called Leeds 26 Save Our Homes, alongside the National Union for Mine Workers, in order to demolish the plans for new unaffordable housing.
It's my home and it will be till they throw me out. I'm determined about that. I'm determined to dig my heels in. It's unsettling, it's very unsettling. And you're thinking like, well, should I have a clear out in case we have to move? I don't really want to, because I don't want to get rid of things that I want. The reason they want this place is because you're a quarter of a mile away from M62. The next junction up the road is the M1. So you know what I mean, you can get all over the country from here. It's a really convenient spot. There's a man who, the executives of the Pemberstone Group belong to a group, and the group is supposed to be working with the government to make sure that people aren't made homeless. Well, that's a bit hypocritical, isn't it? Just say think again. It's going to be an absolute nightmare moving. Just the physical part of it, as well as you don't know where you're going. You're settled, you know all the people around you, you know who you can trust. We're the youngest of the older people. It's very distressing for everyone. But older people, when they get moved, tend to just conveniently die, don't they? You know, it makes them really ill.
In response to the situation, Pemberstone Housing Company have commented, saying all that tenancy agreements will be honoured.
The UK water companies are urging the public not to flush their wet wipes down the toilet, regardless of some products advertising that the wipes are flushable.
They are continuously clogging up sewers and drains, and it is a huge strain on the environment, Rosie Hughes reports.
Anyone who's done a nappy change or taken off makeup or even eaten an ice cream can understand how useful wet wipes can be. But with sewage blockages being caused by material largely made up of wet wipes, does the damage it causes to the environment outweigh its usefulness?
I find them very useful to use, but I usually just use them for nappy changing. Not always for wiping faces.
The government has pledged to eliminate all avoidable plastic waste within the next 25 years, and that includes single-use products like wet wipes. But this begs the question, will we be able to find a suitable alternative to help clean sticky faces on a daily basis?
I think it would certainly change the way I change nappies. But when my children were young, we never had wet wipes. We used to use cotton wool and water. And I think you would just have to get back into that. I can't understand why they have to have plastic in. Because why can't they make them of a soft tissue? Like we used to get moist tissues in the years gone by, and they seem to have disappeared. I don't see those anymore, whereas everything's been taken over by wet wipes. I think it's so important to educate the children now. This is my grandchildren are at the age when they should know all about it, and they should be really telling us what to do and how to do it.
And the same with plastic things. Baby wipes have got plastic in them that could cause the fish or sharks or stuff to get choke or get strangled or die.
Rosie Hughes reporting for Yorkshire Voice.
A primary school in Bradford is determined to keep their award-winning brass band despite having no budget for it.
Foxhill Primary School play a brass band concert and are struggling to keep their extracurricular activities going. The school are appealing for funding to continue the band.
Zoha went down to the school to talk to the teachers and students that participate in the band and the choir.
Students of Fox Hill Primary School are practicing hard with their music teacher. They are already an award-winning band who has played at different venues, but now they are facing a challenge in order to keep their band from being cut.
I'm hoping to get even more children playing, and what I'd really like to see, and I'm starting to see it now because I'm getting a little bit older, is some of the children actually going on as adults to play. I've got piano students that now teaching in at schools in Leeds and Huddersfield, some joining, as I say, bands like Ellen Silver Band. They may enjoy playing a function band as well, so there's always room for brass in function, pop rock, soul bands, that sort of thing. I'd like to see some of them go on to join that. As young adults.
The school is having problems with providing students with a music teacher and things like transport to concerts due to little funding being available. Music is a very prioritised subject at this school, and the head teacher is determined to save the brass band.
Music is a big part of what we do. Having said that, we have year-on-year improvement in results, and music and enjoyment of school and the drama that we do very much helps those children achieve much more highly. So for me, the wider curriculum is as important as your core subjects because it impacts on the children's achievement. If we lose band because we can't afford to pay people like Gary and Richard that does our drums, then children can learn instruments but they won't perform. Well, that's nonsense.
These children have a passion for music, and they have also been awarded a shield for winning an entertainment contest. They feel that it's fun and enjoy being in the band.
I enjoy it because you can get out of work, and it's something once you put your mind on, you don't want to do it. If you've got a song, you get determined to do it. It's really joyful.
I watched them playing all the assemblies and I thought that looks fun, and I asked my mum if I could do it and she says yeah.
Students here have had an incredible success, including when they shared a stage with the Black Dyke, which is the worldwide known band, but they are still struggling to get funding. The school is appealing in order to get more funding or scholarships. Sohasha, Yorkshire Voice.
Wow, Zoha, that's amazing. What was the age range of these children?
So, well, as far as I remember, they were aged 6 to 14. And that's really different ages because, I can't remember playing the trumpet at the age of 6.
Yeah, that's really young as well to start, especially at 6 years old. How many children were involved?
So about 25 in a band, but there were also the choir, so more came in. And it's really good, it looked like really something that anybody could just do. You don't have to be skilled for it. You can do it. Anyone can do it.
Also, they encourage all the children to kind of take part in this kind of project. How are they trying to raise the funds to keep the band?
So they were trying to get more people from the media to listen to their story and see how well the kids do and how established they are, and to give them scholarships to fund them more, so that people can actually know that music is important for young kids to develop.
Oh, obviously, well, this band is very important to them because it's part of the wider curriculum, and if they're getting known worldwide, then it is quite amazing. Did they speak to you about how many places they've been?
Well, they've been played with the Black Dyke, which is a well-known band, but
Wow, that was amazing, the way, especially at their young ages.
So the Leeds Half Marathon took place yesterday and saw hundreds of runners take on the 13.1 mile course, which finished in the Millennium Square.
The event is sponsored by Asda Foundation and the Kenyan Mohammed Abirizek for the second year running. Faye Banks from Adel was the first woman to finish the cross line. And that's it for now. Join us again tomorrow where we'll have...
Well, we don't need to have anybody. We're all amazing ourselves. We are back at the 4 o'clock and join us again next week. This is Yorkshire Voice. Hashtag us on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you and bye-bye.